computer. It's not a laptop. You're going to have to get your own screen, and then people are going to go, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know about the screen. And like, oh my God. Just,
Well, the screen
you know,
you can just get any screen that you want. All right, so we are live on YouTube.
okay.
Um,
I see that. Okay. Two USB 4 ports, one SD card reader, three USB 3.2 generation 2 ports. Um, and this is basically a gaming PC.
okay.
Um, it's it's Windows. I would assume it's Windows 11, or is there no operating system on it? Let me see. Um,
Alrighty. I think now I'm almost getting my stuff together. After every time it's always something new when it pops up on this one because on my other one, smooth upgrade, no problems whatsoever, none, none. You know, well, that's one of my animating ones, and so I got to go and running in 3D and doing some and rendering some animating,
mhm.
some animations. So, and again, flawless. This one right here, though,
The broadcast computer
this one,
has to be problems. Yeah, I know that.
and it was problems before because one of the issues was is that it had a 128 gig SSD, hard drive for the C drive. So of
Right.
course I had to get a larger hard drive. So I got a terabyte hard drive. So SSD terabyte hard drive, and because I had everything going on operating off of um, a secondary drive, now
Mhm.
I'm having to move everything back onto the primary drive because now it's having problems. You know, opening
Yeah.
up
The
the
one
open up apps on the secondary
the
drive.
one thing I hated with migrations was to make the C drive bootable. That was the one thing I hated to do, especially when you're doing a migration for a company and you're doing like 5,000 laptops at a time, and you're doing it over the network. When I used to do that at
Mm.
Intel, we used to do machines like crazy, build machines like crazy, and doing like 5,000 computers at one time. They're all hooked up to the network, and you send it out,
Mm-hmm.
and then like going, well, this doesn't have the right amount of RAM, or this doesn't have the right amount of this. I'm like, oh my God.
All right. So
And yeah, there was always like that problematic
yeah, there's always
computer,
the
the
one
one bad
little
apple in the bunch.
yeah. But hopefully, I think this should end all these problems now. So I don't know. We'll
Okay,
see. We'll see.
we'll see.
I think the only oh shoot. I think the only potential one now will be FileZilla. No, wait. No, yeah. So it's gonna be a pain when I have to when I update the GCPR website. Um.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'm gonna have to reinstall that.
I
And
I had talked to T Nathan. He bought
mhm.
a Synology drive, and I set up his Synology drive remotely.
Okay.
There is a plugin for Shoutcast for GCPR. I created the Shoutcast plugin. We just have to figure
Mhm.
out how to run. I guess you can you can run the website through the Synology, and it's hooked up to his it's hooked up to his Synology. So there's something called Audio Station which does that.
Okay.
We'll discuss that at the meeting, I guess, on Saturday. So, yes, I will be at the meeting Saturday. So thank God.
So yeah, I will be too. But I need to. Uh, not sure how I'm going to do this though. I guess we're remote into T8 and get all the information I need so that way I can plug it in.
Yeah,
But
I didn't know what it's supposed to, because apparently you can run the website through the Synology. The Synology is already hooked up to the internet. It's basically just a hard drive hooked up to the internet. So using it as an audio server, you can take the website credentials and plug that into the Synology. It also has provisions to do Alexa on that, so you can also you you once you have, I guess, all those credentials down and everything is working great, there is a provision in Audio Station to activate Alexa. So if you have an Alexa device, you can say, "Hey Alexa, play GCPR," and you're right there. You know,
yeah,
so that's one of the things. It's
hmm
very so. It is
okay.
2:26, and our so we're live on everything.
We're live on everything now.
Okay, all right. You you didn't give me the go sign. You didn't do the like the clapper. You got to get a clapper. Okay, we're
Okay,
not. Okay, here we. All right, so there we go. At 2:27, here we are. It is time for Model Citizen. Sorry, we had some delays and stuff like that, and we're going through some changes with our wonderful Windows 11 operating system.
so that was
And
my fault. My
no,
fault,
no, no, not
everyone.
your fault, not your fault, not your fault. It's Bill Gates' fault. No, I blame Bill. I
Let's see.
blame Bill. I blame Elon Musk. I blame all those
Let's see.
tech giants.
Bill's already on the list. So A's already on the list.
So,
I know for everybody that has forced me to upgrade to Windows, they're gonna catch a fade. I know for a fact Bill Gates is on that list. I don't know where he's at on that list, but I know he's on the list.
with that, this is Model Citizen. I'm your host, George Dayer. I am flanked by my wonderful host who's having some Windows 11 problems, the angerous of IT nerds, Gilbert Floyd. Printmaster James is on assignment. He will not be with us this week. We're just gonna, shoot the shit and see where this goes. Um, I did want to make one announcement. I did find our one of our sponsors is going to I guess they're going to close up shop soon.
Oh
So I did
no.
want to read a statement. It's AAA Hobbies and Crafts in Magnolia, New Jersey. So we got I got a Mark Myers who's been a guest on our show. He goes to AAA Hobbies. He lives like 15 minutes away from AAA Hobbies in Magnolia, New Jersey, and um, they had a statement that they put, I guess, onto the Facebook page. They said, after a
Mm-hmm.
lengthy and heartfelt consideration, we've made the decision that 2026 will be our last year of operations for AAA Hobbies and Crafts. This was a personal decision made by our entire family. After months of open and honest conversation, we came to the conclusion that it's time to close this chapter and begin the next. Founded in 1983 with our family's roots in the hobby industry stretching back to the 1950s, AAA Hobbies has been a source of pride and purpose for 3 generations. It has supported our family, provided work for hundreds of dedicated individuals, and we hope served as a trusted partner to customers and suppliers across the country. The values instilled by our founders, integrity, honesty, and fairness, have guided every decision we've ever made and will continue to do so through our final day. We recognize our exit will leave a void in the local hobby market, but we're hopeful that the space will be filled by companies who share the same commitment to integrity and honesty that we have always strived to uphold. To everyone who has been part of this journey, employees, suppliers, customers, and friends, thank you. Your support over the last 40 plus years has meant more than words can express. With gratitude, Alan and Michael Bass. So, AAA Hobbies will be closing its doors in 2026. We don't know when, possibly the end of 2026. But the
It's
um,
unfortunate.
yeah, it's unfortunate. They were one of our sponsors, so we're gonna have to find a new. I guess we're gonna have to find a new hobby shop sponsor. Um, we so that was one of our sponsors. Our other sponsor is Tenet Controls, tenetcontrols.com, makers of lighting boards and lighting kits um, for all of your model needs. I I don't know. I have to call Jack Lynch at AAA Hobbies. He's the marketing. I think he was one of the marketing managers. I have to ask him if Mega Hobby will be, because Mega Hobby is the online store for AAA Hobbies. If AAA
Mm-hmm.
Hobbies closes, will they get rid of Mega Hobby, altogether? I don't know if that's going to happen. It probably will. They said on the Facebook page that they're closing Stevens International, which is the company that runs. So they're like three buildings. There's Stevens International, which is the administrative side. There was Mega
Okay.
Hobby, where they basically have like a warehouse, and then they're going to close
Mm-hmm.
the store. So that's going to be, I would assume the end of 2026. I'm hoping then. A friend of mine, Eric Longstreet, who's like a longtime friend of mine, he asked me if I wanted to go on the 22nd, and I'm like, oh no, I have a guest. So we have a guest. We have Jay Gowie next week.
Mm-hmm.
For Model Citizen,
And
and hopefully James can make it, and we'll have a talk. But so yeah, so
no, yeah.
that's unfortunate.
Said Mega Hobby. Yeah, Mega Hobby will close also. It's
Yeah. Oh, okay.
the third
Mega
model.
Hobby's also going to be closed. Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
They got.
So we
We
will
got
have
Mark
to
Myers.
find.
Looks like Mark's in the chat. Chuckles is in the chat.
Uh-oh.
Um, says Solid Blue Sister. She's in the chat. So all right,
Oh. Okay.
cool, 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 cool.
Cool. That's always good.
And
Yeah. Just
miniature
wanted to.
collectors are feeling the terror of the tariff as hobby gets too expensive. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it just it sucks, man.
Well, I mean, with the advent of 3D printing, I think many many of the models that like we grew up with, like the Battlestar Galactica stuff, the Star Trek stuff. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
all this stuff is just being like it's um, it's being redesigned. Being redesigned, you could just print it out, at your leisure. Places like Thingiverse, where people put these creations that they've done, or scans of other models. I mean, I would assume that 3D printing would be. I don't think it's going to be the death of plastic model builders. I think it may be. Um, I think it might be like an augmentation, if you
Okay.
will. Like you could build a basic, fuselage, or like a basic form in
Mm-hmm.
3D, and then you can use, like model bits to detail it. Kind of like kit
Right.
bashing.
Okay.
But
Okay.
printing out that detail would be extremely expensive for, I guess any modeler. Me, what I do is I basically because I'm old school. I'm sorry, I don't have the bandwidth like for 3 dimensions. I'm sorry, I don't have it. Some people are wired to do it. You're wired to
So
actually
I could,
do 3D printing and do all that stuff.
yeah,
I'm wired to basically make the form out of wood or clay or resin and then take model parts and glue it to, the
and
resin
see, you could do all that magic by hand.
form. Yeah.
I'm I'm too clumsy, and I have two left hands when it comes to that. I can see it in my head, and I can design it perfectly. Using
But
Blender or any other 3D program, I can, not a problem,
those
print it
two
out.
left
But
hands are
but
very talented. So
but I can't.
it's the whole.
But it's actually like trying to build it up myself. That's where I somewhere between my brain and my hands, it loses. Something gets
Oh,
lost in translation.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
So I don't know what it is. So yeah, it's for me. It's easier, to like 3D print. You know, um, Especially like for like smaller stuff. Just print multiple parts of it. All at once. Or even just print a mold out
Right.
and use the mold like that. And
Yeah, yeah, I was like when like when I first got into casting, like molds and making molds and stuff, I was like, oh, I could make model parts. And then I was looking like, like certain model parts were called they're called greeblies.
okay,
On in like so when they build a studio scale model, say, I'll take an example of Space 1999. The model that I'm working on now, which is Ara's shuttle from the episode Collision Course, is a studio scale model. It's like 4 feet 3 inches long. So that's the model that I'm building now.
okay,
The greeblies or the detail on that model. So they have a basic form, a basic fuselage, and then the greeblies would be pieces from like uh, usually from Airfix kits. Now, Space 1999 was produced in England, and I believe either Shepperton Studios or Elstree Studios, where they filmed Star Wars and stuff. But those models were built by either Brian Johnson or Martin Bauer, and they were detailed with Airfix kits. Now, Airfix is a model company that is based in England. So they had to buy a lot of those kits in order to get certain details. They didn't, they didn't have mold rubber at the time. They didn't have resin, I don't think at the time. So they couldn't so they couldn't take like one piece of an Airfix kit,
mm-hmm,
be it like, like a World War II bomber part or something like that. They had to buy 25 of the same kit to get that detail and put those details around put those details around the ship. So that's what they used, to build the Eagles. If you look at the Eagle transporter from Space 1999, there are a lot of lunar module parts on. There's actually the body of the lunar module, very very small like details hidden within the spine of the Eagle. And like a lot of those parts, like a lot of the the engine bells, the maneuvering the maneuvering thrusters on like the side pods of the Eagle, where like the landing gear are. A lot of that stuff came from the lunar module, and they're probably from like Airfix or Revell or whatever.
mm-hmm.
And they just took those pieces and glued those pieces on just to make it like visually stunning for for the camera. But
That is a pain in the
it
ass.
is. All right, it is. And if you watch, if you go to YouTube and watch Pierce Films, there is there's a retrospective on the movie Outland with Sean Connery, Martin Bauer, and I believe Bill Pierce, who Pierce Films. They got together. They created a company to do all the Outland things. They did the shuttle. They did all of the buildings that you see that are on Io, one of Jupiter's moons, and it's supposed to be like a mining colony. Okay, so they had to do
Mm-hmm.
all the buildings, all the other stuff for the sets. But the shuttle, they bought, I think, 27 or 35 of the same Airfix British um, battleship kit and used that
Mm-hmm.
detail for the shuttle. For for I think it was for each of the four landing pads of the shuttle. And Martin Bauer spent all this time on it and all this, and like, okay, we had to go, and they go out and they buy it's kit bashing. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
It's kit bashing 101. And if you don't know what kit bashing is, it's basically taking parts of certain models that are visually stunning to the eye, or something that you can use, like a hatch from a tank,
Mm-hmm.
or a wheel from an airplane, or an engine cowling from a jet, and putting all that together to make another model. That's basically what kit bashing is. But when they detailed all this stuff, you know, I mean, they didn't have the things that we have today. They didn't have 3D printing. They didn't have molding. They didn't have mold rubber. They could make molds for large pieces in fiberglass, but then they had to detail that fiberglass, or they had to detail that stuff. A lot of what Martin Bauer did back in the day was he used something called jelutong, which is it's a it's a it's a Malaysian wood, um, that you
Okay.
can carve, and a lot of like a lot of those models are like they're like carved out of wood, and they're just spray painted, and they glued like little model bits to it. They spray painted it. They threw it on camera. There it is. You
Huh.
know. So,
All right.
and it wasn't like it wasn't like today where like you get a design, you scan it, you 3D printed. It was all it was all done by hand. It was all practical effects, all that stuff. So it was just all models. But
Okay.
yeah. So, but the so now there are guys like me, crazy people, who go and try to find these models, try to build these models by hand, and trying to find the same detail. And if you try to find that detail, you're like, okay, I found this detail. Now I know that Eric Longstreet, who is a friend of mine, I should have him on the show soon. Eric is crazy like me. He'll go and find those model kits and he will buy them. And those model kits
Okay.
could be like, it could be $200 for a model kit. Back in the '70s, that was like $2, but the model
All
kit's
right.
$250. He'll buy the kit, $250 or $500. He'll buy the kit and go, I have the kit now. And I'm like, so you have that part? Yeah, I had that part. And I go, can you take a picture of the piece with a ruler so I can extrapolate the measurement of the piece, in relationship to the entire model? Then I can see how wide the model is, how long it is, and I could do uh, a measurement thing. And since I taught him how to mold stuff, he's a molding fool now. Now he knows how to mold stuff, and he has a pressure pot, and he has a compressor, and he's actually making molds for different pieces of detail
Mm-hmm.
that they used on Space 1999, and he's doing that now. And I'm like, this is great. You have all this. I said, you have this knowledge. Now you're doing this. He sends me stuff every so often. He says, hey, you want this? You want that? And So now I'm trying to recreate these models because our shuttle was actually I believe it was stolen. The model was stolen when it was after there was a they had an exhibition in England, and like well, how do you steal a 4 foot 3 inch model? Like, how do you just grab it and I don't know.
Well,
Maybe they threw it into a truck and it's gone, and who knows?
is it?
But
I guess you just picked it up and just carry it out. Like I mean, like it's yours anyway. So it's like hey,
no, no. I mean, like somebody just picked it up and
yeah, because they just
and just said,
picked it up and just
I'm
walked
taking
out
it.
with it. Because
Yeah, just walked out with it. That's it.
because nobody's really gonna question you if you act like it's yours to begin with.
True. True. Yeah.
So if you
That's
just
true.
grab it and take it, it's like oh yeah, I'm just taking my model home. Just bought it, taking it home. Yeah, no, I didn't buy it.
I don't know.
I didn't buy it. I didn't buy shit. I'm just taking it home. I mean,
Yeah. Just,
yeah.
but I mean, these were models that were, you know, these are models that are priceless today. These are models that were, like made by Martin Bauer, and
Mm-hmm.
so a lot of what so the Greeblies are now the the big thing. I seen guys who build replicas of the models, and they get all the same stuff that they used back in the day, like trying to do this, like
Mm-hmm.
one one of the laser tanks. Oh, you got a doggy there?
Hey, hang on a second. Let me open this door.
I'm hanging on. I got the
Let me
doggy.
open this door real quick,
Okay, open the door for the doggy.
cause even though she's a Jack Russell, she's a bully.
It's a Jack Russell. Okay.
But she's a bully. Don't get
Enough
it.
said.
Don't get it confused.
Enough said. So the thing I was telling you about was the detail on one of the laser tanks, the Alpha laser tanks, is a butter dish that was used, and they cut the butter dish in half, and they used two of the sides of the butter dish as detail for the laser tank. And I'm like, you can't find that butter dish now, but people are like hunting it down in thrift stores. So we're going to places in Pennsylvania trying to find this damn butter dish. I'm like, it was only available in the UK. Like, I'm like, okay, so and then you go on the eBay and you're like, oh, I found the butter dish, and I'm like, they want $350 for it. I'm like, yeah, screw that. I'm
Said no.
I'm not gonna do that. So I mean, certain things you can find garage sales, like like I go on like Facebook Marketplace, I look at stuff. I look at stuff on eBay, I look at stuff on Amazon. Well, not really Amazon, but we have like a lot of we have like a lot of antique shops here in Pennsylvania. Certain things you find and you're like, oh, I can turn that piece of junk into this, like that. They example was the red like the translucent red blinking phone from the Batman series, the one that's underneath the cake cover.
Yeah.
And you like pull up the phone. That red phone is available in one of the thrift stores here, and it's like $25. And I was like, oh, maybe I should pick it up. I didn't pick it up, of course, because because I'm an idiot. But you could pick up the phone, and if you mold the phone, if you make a mold of it, and then do a translucent red, like a resin, you can make the blinking red phone from Batman, from the Batman series. That's something you could sell for like $100. So you could spend $25 and
spend $25 and then You make
but
and then you
hopefully
make your
not
money
spend
back
two
and
hundred
then some
dollars
off
worth of
of
resin.
you make your money back and then some off the first sale. Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
yeah, that's something you can do.
But
So
Chuckles,
there is.
yes. I have two dogs. So yeah, I do have a dog. I
Yep. Yeah,
like I
the
said, I
dog.
have two dogs. One, like I said, she's a Jack Russell mix. She's a goddamn bully. I love her to death. I love her. I do. But she's a fucking bully. I love her, and she's a Jack Russell, but she's a bully. All right.
And the second dog.
My second dog, she's okay. She's not so much of a bully. I mean, she's what's known as a Carolina Cur. She looks like a mix, like a German Shepherd, um, Golden Retriever mix.
Oh.
That's what she looks like. Um, her breed is mainly for like hunting, like like hunting, squirrels, ducks, kind of small animals and stuff like that. She also doubles as a really great guard dog.
Ah.
So, yeah, she is not so much of a bully because, she loves me more than this one does.
Okay.
So she's a lot nicer to me. She's a lot nicer. This one, though, I've spoiled her too much because, I'll just spoil her. And now she's an entitled little shit. But I love her though.
So if you haven't seen the video, the third models actually um, our friend Mark Myers is in the chat, a YouTube chat. If you go to the third models, he has a new video for the Jupiter 2, the Jupiter 2 liftoff video. Actually, there's two of them. One is on the launch gantry, which you should watch, which is very good. And then the newest one is it's on a planetary surface. I think the episode is called Planet of Fire. I'm not sure, but it does look like Planet of Fire. It has like explosions, and then like the Jupiter 2 actually lifts off the surface. But so
It's awesome. That's awesome because Mark, I can tell Mark, hey, you be putting in some work on your videos, man, and it shows. And
yeah.
top notch stuff, man, and it's awesome. Great stuff.
And the paint colors are absolutely spot on. I'm gonna give him that. I will give him that because he's gonna give me hell if I don't. Okay. The paint colors are spot on, just like
the paint colors are
they used.
are 99.999% accurate. Some spots 100%
no,
accurate.
I wouldn't go that far. I'd go as far as to say they're 100% accurate because
Okay.
we want them back on the show. I'm going to say 100% accurate. Then then you can throw me on. I mean, hey, if you want to throw me under the bus with Mark, that's fine. I don't care.
All right, 100% accuracy. I've been corrected. I've been corrected as 100% accuracy.
Now
So-
I looked at the color of the sea. I haven't built the Sea of You yet. I haven't painted it, but I look at the color and I'm like, oh, yeah. Like I kind of like I bought the paint. I sprayed the thing on to just a piece, and I'm looking at the color in different light tones and and like different lighting, and I'm like, I'm getting it now. All right, now it's starting to register, and yeah. So, yep, he's absolutely right. Damn guy, him. So
that guy.
that guy.
See,
So
this
we
Chuckle say,
didn't have a guest this week. I was trying to get Eric Chu to come on, the Cylon God. He's busy with some stuff, and then hopefully we can get him on. Hopefully we can get him on the Rules of Nerd position. That would be great.
oh, that would be great.
Yeah, we could
Yeah.
talk about Battlestar Galactica,
Oh yeah. That'd
and
be a great excuse to talk about Battlestar too. I mean,
he did designs for Captain Power and the Soldiers of the Future. Do you
no.
remember that show?
No.
That was his first
Oh
design
my
job.
God, man.
I love
Look,
that show.
I loved that show. Oh
Okay.
my God.
Yeah. Yeah,
As cheesy
we got
as
to
it
talk.
was, I loved that mother effing show. Oh my God. Even while looking at it when I was a kid,
The power suits and
I
the
knew this is a cheese sandwich dipped in cheese with cheese sauce with four cheese macaroni cheese with cheese and fondue cheese. I mean, this cheese on cheese layer of cheese. This, but I loved it. I love that show.
Yep. Yeah, well, because he said, yeah, I did designs for this, I did designs for that. And I was like, and he said, I did, he said, I designed, certain things, in Captain Power. I was like, Captain Power and Soldiers of the Future, and he goes, yeah. I go, oh, dude, I used to watch that. I used to watch that show back in the '80s when it was all.
Uh-huh. I love
Yeah,
that show.
it
Oh
was all
man.
green and red LEDs. They only have red LEDs because
Uh-huh.
they only had red
So,
LEDs at the time.
I had all the toys, you know, and
Oh yeah,
everything,
that's
and
right.
I had the toys
the toys
and
used to interact with the
yeah, interact
TV.
with the show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
used to interact with the show.
Mm-hmm. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah. I love that show,
Okay.
man.
Well, then we could talk about we could talk about that with him, and because I know he did concept art for Helios. He did he did the cover for Helios, so he did the concept art there. What was some of
Okay.
the other shows he was doing? Well, I know he redesigned the Cylons for the remake of Battlestar Galactica. So I know he did that. He redesigned the Raiders,
Okay. All
with
right.
like with like the flashing, thing, going back and forth, the chasing light,
Mm-hmm.
and trying to, I was trying to see, he's a real, he's 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 funny, but he's a real smart ass. He is a real smart ass, and that's what I really like about him. Because I had I was working at Steve Neal's shop. That's where I met him.
Okay.
Steve Warnick knows him because Steve and Tammy Klein. I don't know, was it Tammy Klein works for the Asylum, which is the Asylum Pictures. They do all the mockbusters. They did
Okay.
uh, Atlantic Rim. They did all the Sharknado movies. So that is,
Okay.
so that's Tammy. Tammy knows Eric because they were working on Helios together. They were they were using the narration or the narration with Nick Tate, who played Alan Carter on Space 1999. He also narrates in Helios as father, so that's his role in that. But um, talking to I met he was I think Eric Chu uh, came with James Lechner, who's also like a host on this show. Um, he came with Mike Scott, who we've had on this show. It was him, Mike Scott, and Tony Hardy and Eric Chu, and they went to go visit Steve one day. So I was there working, and that's where I met James Lechner and all, and and we got to talking, and I was wearing a Space 2099 T-shirt that I got from Steve Warnick, and I just had it on one day, and Eric goes, "Hey, how did you get that T-shirt, dude?" And I was like, I said, I know somebody who's working on the the show. And he goes, who? I said, Steve Warnick. And he goes, oh, I know Steve. Oh, he's a great guy. Blah, blah, blah. He goes, how'd you guys like? I said, I've known Steve for like over 30 years, so we're
So
friends. I said, yeah. And he goes, oh, because he thought I was like a fanboy who just came up to him because he was like a little, he was like a little standoffish with me,
mm-hmm.
and he was like, oh, so you're. I said, I'm a fan of the show. I'm a fan of your work, but I said I'm not a fanboy. I'm not one of those.
So,
I mean, I
so no, I
actually like
mean,
to work.
so like, I
You know,
mean, Steve and I've met a few times before all of this.
yeah, yeah.
So
Before I like
so we met a couple times, before all of this.
I met Steve in 1995, so I've known him since 1995. You know, and this is like 2017. So
Yeah.
so
So
yeah,
I mean,
we got some history. We go way back. So
so we've met once or twice.
yeah, once or twice. But yeah. Um,
Oh my god! So again, it's 3 o'clock, 3:01
Yep.
by my time, and it's my fault that we were
It's
late.
okay.
I lost track of
Good.
time because I was animating, and George sent the message. So I was like, "You gonna be available?" Yeah, and then next thing I know, I get another message. Hey, so I'm logged in, and whenever you're ready, just go ahead. I was like, "Oh shit."
Sorry
I
about that.
lost track of time.
Yeah, I know.
So I'm sorry, everyone. That's
But
my
it is
bad.
3 o'clock. I think Friendly Differences is on,
Friendly
and
differences is on. So let me,
yep.
oh,
So we
because
have
I
to get off the
know,
radio, and
turn off the radio
I'm
because
very sorry it was a very short show, but
I know Solid Blue Sister's gonna be mad. And she'd be
yeah,
mad at me.
oh no, she's gonna be mad at me. I get
Oh,
it. I get the brunt. I get the brunt of
oh well. Whew. Well then, all right, that's good.
Stay on the radio. Yeah, dude, just stay
Well,
on the
that's
radio
good.
as long as you want. No,
Long as it's not me, then that's good.
no, it's me. Okay.
No,
So
but
this
I
has
mean,
been Model Citizen is 302. I'm very sorry. It was a very short show, but next
again,
week we have
that was my fault. That was my fault, everyone.
Mr. Jay Gowie on. If you don't know who Jay is, go to the IMDb. He's a I believe he worked on The Rocketeer and some other I think he worked on Leprechaun. I think that was his first. That was his first
Oh
movie. His special effects makeup
my
artist.
god.
So we could
Yeah.
talk about Leprechaun next week. We could also talk.
That
He's yeah. I mean, he's a really cool guy. He knows John McCallum. I might have John McCallum and him on because there
yeah.
is a controversy. They stirred up a hornet's nest with this invaders thing that they did. Maybe so we'll talk about that next week on the show. But so um, this has been
Yep.
Model Citizen. Thank you very much. I'm very sorry that we started late and we had like some technical issues. And thank you to
So
my other wonderful co-host, the angriest of IT nerds, Gilbert Floyd. Thank you so much. And then
mhm.
Printmaster James is fired this week. He'll be rehired next week. Hopefully he'll make next week when Jay is on. And so and then so thank you very much for watching. We want to also thank our sponsors, AAA Hobbies, which is leaving in 2026, and also Tenant Controls, tenantcontrols.com, makers of lighting boards and lighting kits. This has been Model Citizen.